muggle is this? James has got one that says the boss, and obviously mine says the real boss. He tries to switch them every now and then, but this is definitely mine. Is it me, or do I look like I'm on a bit of an angle? Like 1 second. Can't have that, that'd be really, really annoying. Okay, that's better. That's better. Hey, that's better. Right, I'll give it a little bit to let people get logged in, just a minute or so. I'm really excited for tonight's episode 5 already. I can't believe it's been 5 weeks already. Like, the time has literally flown since I started this new live series. It's bonkers really that it's February already. I can't, it seems like seconds. Hey, hello. Let me know that you're here, guys, and who's here. I can see some of you. Love the mug. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, let me know you're here. Give me a hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay if you're watching on replay. It's so handy to know who's watching and when you're catching it. It's really valuable information. So if you could let me know that would be great. But also where you're logging in from as well, because I find it fascinating that we get people all over the world logging in. And it's really, really cool, like all corners of the world. Cairo we had last week, and someone messaged me from Cairo as well, and US and Canada and Australia, and it's amazing. So tell me where you are from. Oh, bless you, Laura. So episode 5 of Soul Centered Millionaire TV. And what a 5 weeks it has been. Those of you that missed episode 1, you probably won't know what I'm referring to now, but you can catch up. So I never delete these, and you can find episode 1 to 5 down in the newsfeed of this page. So feel free to go back. But in episode 1, I told you about why I was deciding to start this new live series and how I'd been almost divinely guided to do it. And I know that sounds quite extreme and out there, but it's true. You know, for a long time, I kind of kept my stay state strategy. Love it, Kelly. You remember that was from last week. Amazing. I love it. I kept my spiritual side really quite quiet in my work. So most people will know me as being a, quite straight talking, no BS business strategy kind of coach and trainer, and I'm still that. I think we need a strategy. We live in the real world, and we've got to have a strategy for business, and it's not enough to just align without knowing where we're going and without having the guidance to get there. We need all of that too, but for a long time I just talked about mindset. And what I was really practicing behind closed doors wasn't mindset, it was spirituality. My journey to success has been such a spiritual one. And I really wouldn't be here today living the life that I'm living if it hadn't have been for that spiritual growth. And I wasn't really staying true to that. I wasn't talking about it through fear of judgment. And at the beginning of the year, a few things happened, which you can catch up on episode 1 and find out. And it's like everything just moved into a space where I could no longer do that, and I really needed to start focusing on that side of myself. And the 3 months previously, I'd really kind of fell out of alignment, and I'd not made it a priority. I'd not given myself enough time for that stuff. It's so easy done, isn't it, when you get busy? And I'd, without realising it, had a few people come into my life that were very a different match in terms of vibration, and were not quite there in terms of alignment. It wasn't the expression of me that I wanted to be, if you like. But they talked about alignment a lot. I kind of rejected it because I was like, I'm sick of hearing it. It sounds like an excuse. And I started to neglect that side of myself, and the consequences were massive because I was doing the same thing strategy-wise, but my results were harder to obtain. It was like I was having to work 5 times harder, and this went on for a whole quarter of business. So it was a long 3 months. And at the beginning of this year, I got really serious and recommitted to that side of myself. And that meant, full immersion, and not allowing myself to not do my morning routine and have a lie-in instead, and not allowing myself to not do an evening routine, not allowing myself to not look after and nurture that that spiritual growth as well as the business strategy. And what's happened in those 5 weeks has really, really blew my mind, And I want to share that with you because, you know, one of the things that has kept me going in the times where things have got really difficult, and you will have experienced those moments as an entrepreneur yourself where you think, maybe it won't happen for me. It feels like everything's going wrong sometimes, and we feel like we're being tested on every level, and we start to question and doubt. And in those moments, you know, even the moments where I've thought, is this stuff even real? Is there any such thing as this, you know, law of attraction, universe, energy? What if it's all fake and we're just alone in the world and it's all just shit? And I don't care who you are. If you're human, you've experienced doubt. If you're human, you've questioned yourself and you've lost belief at points, and it's been difficult. And in those moments, it's other people's inspiration, it's other people's stories that have had the most impact on me. Yes, training and teaching and all of that stuff and being led and learning is important, but stories always have the most profound effect on me personally. And that's why I wanted to make sure that in this live series, I don't just share with you business strategy. I don't just share with you trainings and teachings and guidance, but I share with you stories as well. And some of those will be other people's that either I'm working with or have worked with. They might be friends of mine, anything that I know will help you and inspire you. Some of them will be my own, and this week it's my own story that I want to share with you of what's happened over the last 5 weeks and how things have really unfolded in a way that is just mind-blowing. So what happens when we decide to put ourselves first and work on our vibration as a priority? And I mean as a priority, I mean opening my diary every Monday now. It used to be Sunday, but every Monday morning, opening my diary when I'm about to plan the week and planning me first. Because if mama ain't right, ain't no one right. If my vibration ain't right, it doesn't matter what I plan business-wise, because nothing quite works. I can plan myself first, my self-care, my you know, alignment and all of the things that light me up. I can plan that first and achieve more in less time. If I try and do it the other way around and fill my diary full of stuff and don't give me any time, I can work 3 times hard and wouldn't have achieved half as much as if I'd have put myself first. So in doing that since January religiously and really putting myself first and really making me the priority, my vibration has lifted to a point where you feel a physical shift. It's almost like an expansion, and you can feel yourself stretching into a new space. Whenever I feel that stretch, it's not the first time I've felt it. It's always because I'm going to a new level of success and something amazing is about to happen. But very often it can become more difficult before you go to new levels of success. It's like the great growing pains, like, is real. Like, you can literally feel the resistance, and things can very often feel like they're going wrong just before that. And I want to share 3 things with you that have happened in just 5 weeks that literally blow me away when I think about it. 5 weeks since I really decided to refocus on this. I'm not saying I was a newbie and I knew none of this stuff before. I'm saying I'd lost sight of it, and we probably all have at points. So 3 things. So the first thing is that, and it could be perceived as a challenge, and this is another reason I want to share it with you, because very often these things can be perceived as challenges or things going wrong, when really it's things going perfectly, just the way they're meant to. So of course, when we raise our vibration, we put ourselves in a different energetic space to what we were in before. We position ourselves there because we choose to rise up. But that means that we're rising to a level that is more aligned with the things that we want, the goals that we've got, next level success, next level financial goals, next level, whatever it might be. We're rising up to match that vibration, or match, things are starting to move and you physically feel it. However, that means we're also coming out of a place that we once were in. So it means that some things are no longer a vibrational match. So we can't be surprised when things start to fall away. people, situations start to literally remove themselves from our energy. And this isn't the first time this has happened to me, but it can be extremely uncomfortable. I can remember the first time this happened years ago. I just started to explore this journey of personal development and professional development, but from a personal point of view. And I just started to really understand energy and the impact it has, and my spiritual self had just started to emerge. And I decided to just go with that. But what started to happen was really odd. Like, you know, I didn't want to sit and bitch anymore with mates about what was wrong with the world. I didn't want to talk about how shit someone's job was, or what a twat their boss was, or how the next terrorist attack was going to kill us all, or I didn't want to talk about that shit anymore. I didn't want to sit in a room in the corporate world listening to people moaning about how much money they were earning anymore. I didn't want to be part of anything that was negative anymore. I just didn't want that. And suddenly, friends that had been friends my entire life stopped calling. I stopped getting invited to things. There's no argument. There was no necessarily confrontation. They just kind of fell away. And this is going way back, you know, nearly 10 years now. In the business I was running at the time, I lost contracts overnight. Like, these contracts just disappeared. There was a big chunk of my income, and I can remember thinking, holy shit, everything's falling apart. This is some voodoo shit. I should never have started working on this stuff and energy and vibration. What the fuck is happening to my life right now? This isn't what's meant to be happening. Things are meant to be going good because I'm working on me, and everything's falling apart. And you suddenly start panicking and you can back off. But when I look back now, I can see it wasn't falling apart. It was coming together perfectly. All of those people, we just weren't a match anymore. All of those situations weren't serving me. Not one of those people or situations was the highest expression of where I wanted to go, who I wanted to be, and the life I wanted to live. Therefore, it was falling away. And that's happened again over the last 5 weeks. People, situations have shifted and almost like just removed themselves and from my energy, because they just weren't a match anymore. They were probably, you know, could have been more of a match in the last quarter of last year because I wasn't really working on me, but they're not a match anymore, and it's no longer suitable for either of us to be around each other. So and that could be perceived as a negative. It could be perceived as challenge. It could be perceived, but when you've gone through it a few times, you kind of just smile and go, okay, so that's happening. So this is happening now. So this is interesting. And we learn to get really fascinated by it rather than fearing it and needing to hold on to what was once perfect for us. You know, part of going to the next level of anything is just freeing ourselves from the shackles of the things that's keeping us where we are. And we have to just be all right with that and let it happen and surrender to that process to really go to the next level with ease. It's when we start then going, oh shit, this isn't right, this isn't working, and we start pulling ourselves back down and wanting everything to stay the same and calling the friends that are no longer, that are ignoring us, or, you know, and for different people, it's different things and different people, but I start trying to hold on to it and keeping everything the same and seeing it as a bad thing rather than just trusting that everything's working out. And that's been the biggest thing that's happened, you know, one of the biggest things, one of three that's happened over the last 5 years. 5 years, 5 weeks. Now, with going with that and going, okay, I'm going to really just allow this to happen and bless and release and da-da-da. The second thing that then happened is suddenly all these wonderful, amazing people that you now have room for energetically start appearing. You know, people that think the same, people that are on the same wavelength, people that were just a match. And whether, you know, just in business alone, like every call that I've had with potential clients this year, because over the last 5 weeks I've been filling spaces for some up and coming enrollments into my program, and every person I've spoke to this year, it's been a joy. It's been an absolute joy to speak to them, a joy. It's been effortless. And whether we've established if the program is right with them or not, what right for them or not, we've just had the best conversation. You should click with people and you think that was just so much fun. I love what I do. Like, thank you for sending that awesome person into my life. And many of them I can help. you know, and we decided to work together, the strategy didn't change. I did, you know. I've not implemented a different strategy to last year. I kept everything the same. It's like the perfect scientific experiment, because I kept everything the same. The controls were the same. The only thing that changed was me, and this willingness to go to the next level in terms of vibration. And what's really funny as well is, and I'm going to mention somebody that's on the call today, and she's got no idea I'm about to do this, but this story, like, it will probably blow your socks off. It did for me. The next two stories I'm going to share with you, and this is the first one. So I'd literally come out on social media as being super spiritual and said I'm going to start sharing this side of my journey more, and because it's such a huge part of my success. I would not be where I am if it wasn't for this, and it was wrong of me to neglect it, but I wasn't ready. But I kind of came out and raised my own vibration and went horse riding. Why did I go horse riding? Because I was following my joy. I haven't done it for years, and the one thing that helps you get into alignment with who you really are and reach your full potential is just following your joy. Doing things just because you love them. Everything hasn't got to be serious, and horse riding is something that I've always loved and I've not made time for. So I decided in that moment I'm going back, and I'm going back today, literally. And I went on the Sunday. Nobody else came horse riding that day bar one other person. There was just us. Her name's Anita. She's on the call today. I saw her log in. Hey, Anita. And we just ended up at the same stables. She's from Finland. I'm from England. We end up in at stables in a yard in Spain, just the two of us, out of season, cold. Not many people going horse riding. She hasn't done it for years. I haven't done it for years. She's travelling, I'm travelling, and we end up in the same place, just us two. And you know, you just click with someone and you like feel there's a connection. And we didn't speak way too much, did we, Anita? Like, we didn't go into loads. I didn't talk to her about anything spiritual. She didn't talk to me about anything spiritual. We just had fun on the horses. And as we were leaving, I said, let's do it again. Like, if you want to come out again, let's connect on Facebook, because I felt called to, because I could tell that this is somebody I want to be around. And we connected on Facebook. And how funny is this, that Anita turns out to be just like me in so many ways. She's a female entrepreneur. She's spiritual. So much so that I was on a live video a week after maybe, and I didn't know Anita had been following my live videos, because I didn't know she was a female entrepreneur. I kind of knew that she was travelling and working, so you know, I knew bits but didn't know anything else really. And Anita logged into one of my lives, and in this particular live I said that my dog had just chewed her bed up, and I was fuming with her, and if anybody got any suggestions on how to stop a dog chewing, let me know. And Anita reaches out and says to me, I don't know if you're going to think this is crazy, but I know that your spirit obviously felt that she could come to me with this because of this channel and me sharing this side of myself. She said, but you know, I communicate, I've got a deep connection with dogs, and I can communicate with them at soul level and understand what it is that's going on for them, so that they can, you know, feed back to me what their problems are, and I can feed back to the owner. And if you'd like me to, I'm happy to have a chat with Winnie and see why she's chewing her bed up for you, and see if I can shed any light on it. And I was like, wow, like, I'd never heard of anything like that before, and I'm totally open. I don't understand it. I don't, of course there's a part of you that goes, really? Because is that even possible? That skeptic's always going to be in you. But just so grateful. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. She said, actually, send me the pictures of all three of your dogs, because I'd mentioned I'd got three. That's all I'd said, bear in mind. That's all I'd said. She knew nothing else. It's a brief encounter. It's a brief encounter at a stables down the road. And we didn't speak that much, Anita, did we? Like, we had a bit of a chat, but she was behind me for the majority of it on the horse, because I had a bit of a crazy horse up front, and that was it. So I never mentioned my dogs. All I sent Anita was 3 pictures. What she came back with in email, she sent me 3 emails. There is no way this lady could have received this information from anywhere but divine source, because it's nothing she could have found out online. It's nothing I told her. It's nothing anybody would know. She told me things about my 3 dogs that nobody would know. I was in tears, reading the emails, sobbing. My one dog, Harvey, I'll share with you just as a snippet. I rescued him from a home that the little boy was beating him up because he got ADHD, and he used to take his aggression out on the dog. So I was terrified when I got him. and if someone raised their voice, he'd pee himself and shake, and he was just so scared of everything. And he was nearly 2 when we rescued him. He'd been through quite a bit of trauma by that point. And Anita said in her email that, you know, Harvey in particular is frightened of everything because he's scared that the bad people are going to come back and get him. But he's also doesn't feel good enough because he can't understand why he couldn't make them love him and why they didn't love him. And that he's really grateful to us for rescuing him, but he's terrified of being a bad boy because then we won't love him and maybe we'll treat him bad. Like, he's carrying this stuff with him. There's just no way she would have known it. She knew that Missy was my dog and what a deep connection we've got. She knew that Winnie was James's dog and that I don't show her much affection. And it's not that I don't love her, I do, but I just felt like James could take care of it because he's with her all the time and I need to show the other two my love because she's got James. But actually she was crying out for my attention. She told me all of this, and it was like she'd been living in my house and watching me and my dogs interact. I literally sobbed all the way through. This woman is incredible. And I tell you this because, and Anita, just say hi. I know this is probably really embarrassing for you, but say hi in the chat box, because if anybody's got problems at all with animals, or, you know, you feel like, just go to her, because and some people would say these are just animals, they're just dogs. These are my family, like, they are my babies. I haven't been blessed with children. They mean the world to me. And I have become such a better, I'm going to say mummy. I know some would say pet owner, but I'm their mummy. I have become such a better mummy for that information, because I genuinely feel like I understand them. And there has been nothing but calm in my house. No biting, no chewing. Harvey's been calmer. I did everything she told me to do. Like, I grabbed Harvey and I was like, oh my God, I love you so much. You're a good boy. And I'm telling him all the time he's a good boy and that nothing's going to happen to him. Missy has had some issues as well, and I've been telling her. And, like, they're like different dogs. It's amazing. So that blew my mind, because what are the chances? Now, the other thing to this is Anita's obviously an entrepreneur. She's, we've talked about her getting some help and working with me in the program when it's the right time for her. So there's definitely things that I can help her with, and there's things that she's been able to help me with. And we both ended up being in the same place. She's from Finland, I'm from England, in Spain at stables, neither of us ridden for years, but that day we both decided to go there. And you tell me that's not some sort of intelligence at work that nobody quite understands. That, you know, I don't think I've come in contact, you don't just come in contact with someone deeply spiritual like that just gets you. Like, these synchronicities, these things, they all happen for a reason. The third thing that's happened is, while all this has been going on, and you see, when you're really aligned, you feel braver. When you're really connected to Source, you set bigger goals. You set bigger goals because you feel invincible. That's the only word to describe it. Like, when you really work on this stuff, you feel like you can do anything, be anything, create anything. It's because you can. You just can. But you feel it. You feel it for once. It doesn't, because, you know, it doesn't matter how much somebody else tells you. When you feel it, you set bigger goals and you start to open yourself up to what's possible. And this is what's happened for me this month. So I mentioned that I'd had the biggest January ever, which is just crazy, because nothing's changed, nothing's been different, no strategy difference. I've been the difference. And going to that next level in energy has meant that I've gone to the next level of success. And obviously before that came a bit of a pull and an uncomfortable time, but it always does. Normally our biggest breakdowns come before our biggest breakthroughs, and that was definitely true for me. And remember that. Remember when you feel like giving up, when times get really shit, when times get really tough, when you feel like your back's against the wall and you're just looking for a way out, just make it stop. You're nearly fucking there. Like, if you're going through hell, keep going, because there's no point in stopping now and turning around and going back. Like, this is where we need to push. And it's always been true for me. And it kind of gets to a point where you're like, yeah, and I know what's coming, something big's coming, and you can be excited through it. And about 4 weeks ago, I sat down, I was journaling, and I was like, right, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next thing. Like, I feel ready for the next level of success. I feel ready. Just give me some inspiration, give me some guidance on what's next for me. And a goal that I'd set popped into my mind straight away, and it's a goal that I'd set a while ago and kind of lost sight of a little bit, because you just get busy in the do. And I'd stopped focusing on it because it felt like a goal that wasn't going to happen anytime soon. You know, those goals that we kind of know what we want in the future, but we stop thinking about them because, oh, well, it's going to be a while away. And that's not true, because that means we've decided that it's too big to manifest right now. It's too big to go after right now, which nothing is. So suddenly what pinged into my head is the goal of buying my own home, cash, my dream home. So this has been my goal for a while. Buy my dream home, cash. But not just any home. This is my dream home. Like, this is the big vision. It's the vision I've had for a long time. It's the 6-bedroom, not because I'm just need 6 bedrooms to run around in on my own. There's only 2 of us. But because I live in a foreign country and I love my family dearly, the most important thing in the world to me. And I have this vision of having everybody here all in one go, like my nieces running around the pool, and my mum, my sister's partner, and everybody together all in one go, and just making memories in the sun. But it's got to be secluded, it's got to be quiet. And I've always seen it on the edge of a cliff with just panoramic views, because where we are in southern Spain, it's so beautiful, and you just want to be in and amongst that, and nothing but birds that I can hear, and no neighbours, infinity pool that looks out over the mountain. Lots of potential to run retreats there, because I run retreats every year. I'd love to do that from home at one point. So this house has got to be mega. Like, if I'm going to run retreats in it, like, I don't do anything by half. Everything I do is 5-star. So it means the house would have to be 5-star. You know, I want everything to be the top quality. I want everything to be just, you know, as I want it. And it's been my vision for ages, and I totally stopped thinking about it. Anyway, I was journaling and I was like, right, okay, that's what keeps coming up as being something that really excites me and makes me feel a bit sick, but it's what keeps coming up. This was 4 weeks ago, guys, 4 weeks ago. So I decided to get in the joy zone and ask, you know, give me some guidance then. This is what I want. Give me some guidance on the right way to go about it. Like, I'm open, I'm ready, I'm surrendering this goal up to you. Show me the way. So literally within a week or more, I started to just feel, you know, those just internal nudges, like, oh, just a bit excited about getting online and having a little bit of a search. Let's just have a little look. So I start going on estate agents in the local area and having a look what's around. And the funny thing is, what made me do that is funny, because I'd already got an idea in my head of roughly how much this house might cost. And here's my first mistake. Previously, I'd already decided that it was going to be around this amount. So I needed a little bit more saving time to get it around that amount, because this has to be a cash buy. I want my house bought cash. It's been my goal for a while. Not having a mortgage on it, it's just not happening. That's, you know. So I'd not searched online, because I've got it in my head that we're not there yet. But I thought, you know, I'll just have a little look, because I feel guided to have a little look. So let's have a little look. And I was looking around, and like I thought, everything was around $500,000 out of budget right now. And I found myself logging off and feeling a bit deflated. And here's the thing, Source Connection doesn't deflate you. Source Connection doesn't feel shit, it doesn't feel scary, it doesn't tell you you can't. That's all ego nonsense. It's all mind stuff, brain farts. It's not real truth. So I recognise it really quickly. I'm like, hold on a minute. Just because that's what the prices are coming out in that line, it doesn't mean that it's not possible for me. If I want this now, I can have this now. I just need to open myself up to the possibility that already exists out there as a possibility, and then I'll just look for signs. So I'm ready. Like, I'm ready for this. I'm excited for this. And one of the agents that I'd obviously like filled a form in online for just rang me like within about 24, 48 hours max. I think it was on the Thursday, and he rang me on the Friday or the Saturday morning anyway and said, look, I've got this property for you to look at. Doesn't exactly fit the criteria of what you said you want, but I think you should take a look. So I was like, okay. So we drove up there yesterday. I kid you not, guys, seriously. We were driving up, and I'm like, geez, this house is high, like in the mountain. So I'm thinking, tick. We pull up onto the drive, and it's everything that I imagined, everything that I hoped for, like the style of it, like rustic, like that rustic Spanish. I don't want like a clinical white box, like too modern. I wanted it to have character, and it had all the character and then some. 6 bedrooms, exactly, well, 5 with the potential to be 6 with a small adjustment. Everything I wanted. Literally sit into the mountain, no neighbours, that you can see anywhere. Just literal 360 panoramic views of mountains, woods. Infinity pool just drops down from the balcony that comes up. Literally, there's a balcony of everything, the lounge, the dining room, each bedroom that looks out to that. All you can see is that infinity pool looking out, shitloads of land for chickens and orange trees, lemon trees, avocado trees, grapefruit trees. The garden was just immense. It's everything, everything. And I'm walking around it and I'm going, I'm not going, the price. I'm going, this is mine. I was sent here and I feel I was sent here. So I look at the agent and I'm like, so what's the damage? And it's 500,000 less than all the others that I'd looked for. It's in budget, bang in budget. To the point where I realised in that moment, I can buy this tomorrow, cash. And I literally could have cried, stood there and then, but I was like, don't, he'll think you're freaking crackers. If you do that, he's going to think you're bananas. So I played it cool and I was like, all right, we'll go and have a chat and have a think about it. I walked out and I'm like, oh, James, are we doing this? And obviously he's really excited as well. We spent the whole day yesterday buzzing about this. But here's the thing, right? Guess what happens today? I woke up and guess what the first thing that I felt when I woke up? I'm just being honest with you, because nothing changes. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. I'm telling you guys, nothing changes. First thing that I felt when I woke up this morning, fear, anxiety in my chest. I woke up, I was like, wow. Like, literally, that's how it felt. What is that? And I suddenly realised that I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. Everything. You're always scared. You're always scared. Like, doesn't matter what level you're going to. I'm about to part right now with more money than I've ever parted with in my life. Not being funny, I'm investing into a property that will be my forever home, that I'm paying for cash. It's an asset. Of course it's an asset. I'm also invested into something that could potentially be a business. It's got the potential to be a business as well, where it is, and it's a no-brainer. Like, it's a no-brainer, but it doesn't matter how much of a no-brainer things are. You still experience fear. It's like you get what you want, and our initial reaction to it can be, oh shit, I'm not ready for this, and we keep ourselves small. I went into the agent today, and I'm all the way there. I'm thinking, and I'm trying to rein it in, and I know I'm doing it, but I'm going, there's obviously something wrong with it. There must be something wrong with it. I mean, why would it be that price? And I'm thinking of all these questions to ask to find out what's wrong with it. And I can find nothing. And I said to the guy, like, why is it so cheap? And he said, well, it's not a cheap house, Michelle. And I was like, no, but like, compared to what else is in the market. And he says, well, it's not for everybody, is it? It's up on the side of a mountain. You can't walk to a shop. It's exactly what you want, but it's not what everybody would want, because two types of people generally will buy in southern Spain. One, holiday let. It's not a holiday let really, because people want to be able to get into town if they're on holiday easily. They'd need a car. And the second thing, would be if someone's retiring out here and they've got the money to come out here and retire and or buy a second home out here in retirement. And again, like, if they're older, they don't want to be on the side of a mountain. Like, it's not for everybody, but it's for you. And he went, but it's for you. The way he said that, and it was like someone else was talking to me, like, it's for you. You've asked for this, now freaking take it and stop being such a wimp. But I still had to walk out before I made an offer. I was like, all right, I can have another chat to my husband. We'll have a chat, yeah. And James is looking at me like, why have we got to have another chat? We've chatted. And I'm like, we'll go and chat, yeah? Take him out, and I'm like, are we doing this? And he's like, yes. And he had to talk me back into going in there and dealing with it, because new level, new devil. And that's another thing I want to share with you is, don't expect to not feel fear. I'm going to cry, guys. Don't say you're in tears, because I'll get emotional. Like, it's huge. And it's been years of like, if you sat there for a minute thinking, oh my God, that seems crazy. Imagine buying a house like that cash. Don't think that, because like, I've been on my knees financially. I know how that feels as well. I've been in a place where I think, how the hell am I going to pay my rent or my mortgage, let alone buy a house in bloody cash? Like, being in those places. I'm sharing this for you because it doesn't matter whether it's 500 quid to pay the bills, or whether it's 500 grand to buy your dream house. It doesn't matter. How you think, feel and act in both situations will define your future. It never gets different. It never becomes different. It just, you become better at dealing with it. You become more aware of what you're going through and why you're going through it. And you can cope with it better. That's it. But it's still there. It's always going to be there. Fear's always going to be there. So that's what's been going on for me over the last 5 years. 5 years? Why do I keep saying 5 years? 5 weeks. Probably because the last 5 weeks feels like 5 years, because so much has happened. And that's what happens when we align to source. Everything just speeds up. You can achieve what might take some people 5 years in 5 weeks. You can have success that most people dream of in a lifetime in 1 year. That's possible for you when we really align. And don't let anybody tell you different. I want to leave you with some questions. And you can write these questions down, but I'd love you to just sit with them and answer them really honestly in your own time. The first one is, who and what do you need to let go of to free you up energetically right now? Who or what is not a match for the highest expression of you? This isn't saying that anyone's beneath you. Nobody is beneath you. Nobody is above you either. We're all made of the same stuff. We're all just as special as each other. But you know, some people are more limited than others in that moment in their journey. And if you surround yourself with people that are more limited than you, you become limited. If you surround yourself with people that are an expression of you at your highest potential and at the next level that you want to be, you're going to expand into that as well. And we have to be really careful who we share our space and energy with. So what or who for you right now are you really holding on to that's not the highest expression of you, or not the highest expression of the situation you want to be in? Where do you see evidence of your own reflection? This is a great question to ask. Where do you see evidence of your own reflection? There's no point in pointing the finger at anybody. It would have been really easy for me to point the finger over the last few weeks with some of the situations I've found myself in, but you can't. Because if you point the finger at anybody, there's always more than one pointing right back at you, always. So you have to look at the way someone's presenting their behaviour to you, or you have to look at the way a situation is and say, what part have I played in this? Because if people are showing up as a challenge for me, it's because I'm asking for it somewhere. I'm always asking for it somewhere. I've got to own my reality. If somebody's angry at me, where am I being angry in my life? Where am I showing this expression somewhere else? Because everyone's a mirror. Everything's a mirror. Projection is reflection. If someone's being nasty behind your back and saying hurtful things, where are you being hurtful? Where can you learn that lesson? If someone's showing up with jealousy and resentment, where are you showing up somewhere with jealousy and resentment? What lessons are you being guided to learn from these people that are showing up as your teachers? And what do you want instead of that? What are you going to choose instead? Because if what's showing up is anger, resentment, if you've got somebody around you that doesn't believe in you, where are you not believing in you? You know, so what do you want instead? If a pattern in your life is people not believing in you and dragging you down and being negative, it's time to go, where am I not believing in me? Where am I dragging myself down with negativity? And what do I want instead of that? Because when you change, so does everything else, and everyone else around you does. There's a famous saying, and I can't remember who said it, but it was someone amazing. And they said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And it's just that in a nutshell. You can't go around going, I want everyone and everything to be different. It starts here, it starts with you. Where are you blocking the process of manifesting your success because you're too caught up in the how? And this is a great question. Where are you blocking that process of manifestation because you're too bothered and consumed by what's possible in your mind? What's possible is only a limitation of what you've placed upon yourself. When you take it off, anything's possible. If you're saying, oh, I really want 10 grand a month, but I'm only earning 2, and oh my God, how am I going to ever make it 10 if I can only earn 2? And straight away you've lost it because you've just told yourself, I can't. You know, when we say, this is what I want, and I'm on the way to getting it, and I'm open to being guided and shown how, and I know it's coming, and I know it's on its way, and we feel inspired every day, and we just take action and believe, and it brings a really different energy. And the last question is, where have I given up too easily and become deflated too quickly? No one said it was going to be easy. I'm not telling you that it'll be free of challenge. Whatever you're going after, whatever your goals are, whatever it is you want, it won't be free of challenge. You'll be constant tests. And as I said to you before, normally the biggest challenges and tests comes before the biggest breakthroughs. It's like one final test to see if you're really ready for this, and then boom. And you might miss that if you give up too quickly. You might miss that if you become deflated and start going, oh, well, I tried so hard for this amount of time and nothing happened, so shit, just forget it. You know, you could have been just on the edge. Have you ever seen that picture? There's a really famous picture that I've seen going around and I just love it. And it's this guy and he's like mining for diamonds. And obviously what he can see is the wall that's in front of him. And you can see that he's tunnelled in really, really far. And he's just put his pickaxe or whatever it is down and he's just given up. And you can see that there's like an inch left. And if he'd have just hit it one more time, the diamonds would have come falling out the wall. We can see it on a different angle. He can't, and he's given up. And I always think about that when I reach a wall. I see that picture in my head and I just think, one more. And it's never failed me. I hope those questions have helped you. I hope my stories of just 5 weeks of really focusing on this stuff, more serious than I ever before have, what's been possible in such a short space of time. And remember, don't ever get consumed by, do you know the amount of people I hear say, oh, but it's a lot of money, like 500 quid or 600 quid, or my programme, like, I've people that I talk to about that, like, honestly, like, it comes up for people, like, oh, I don't know, it's a lot of money to part with, and don't ever let me hear you say that again. And I just manifested 500,000 people, and it's no different. It's no different to manifesting 50p. It's the same. It's just the same, because the universe doesn't know the difference between the two. It's just energy. It's just energy. Thank you for listening. If you got value, please share it or tag somebody that you think can get as much value as you have. Someone might spring to mind that you think they need to hear this. That guided action is always the best. One of my best friends was telling me a story today that she got a message from somebody that said, I think you need to be on this retreat with me. And she just messaged her and said, this is the retreat, I think you need to be there. And a series of things unfolded just from that one message that meant that what she thought wasn't possible for her has now become possible because someone thought of her and felt called to share something with her, and they did, and it set off a whole train of events. So if you feel called to share it, do. If you don't. If you feel called to tag somebody, do. If you don't. And thank you. Just thank you for listening. Love you.